So your new marriage isn't working out. What is it that you can do about it? You've only been married for a few months, but the marriage isn't quite working out the way that you expected. Can you just get an annulment and just act like the marriage never happened? Well, frankly, that depends. An annulment is different from a divorce. A divorce is where you go through the whole process of just dissolving the marriage. But an annulment is a little bit different. Instead of dissolving the marriage, what you do in an annulment is you treat the marriage like it actually never happened. There could be some benefits to you doing that. For instance, if one of the parties to the marriage was incredibly wealthy or has a very good job where they make good money and the other spouse wants to try to ask for spousal support, if the marriage ends up being annulled, then and you treat it like it never happened, if the marriage never happened, then there can't be spousal support paid because there was never a marriage from a legal standpoint. There are also other benefits like for religious reasons. So some cultures very much frown upon divorces, but if you get the marriage annulled, it's like it never happened. But anybody just can't go and get an annulment. There are certain things that Florida law would generally require to exist or to be in place before you could even think about asking the court for an annulment. In a lot of jurisdictions, one of the most important things that come up is whether or not they consummated the marriage. Well, that is not necessarily something that Florida will focus on. So from my understanding, the case law suggests that you can in fact consummate the marriage, but then still get it annulled based on things like fraud. So if one party to the marriage commits fraud upon the other and they turn out not necessarily to be what they claimed to be, for instance, what if one of the spouses, especially with the climate today with sex changes and people transitioning, not that there's anything wrong with that, but what if that's not what you signed up for? And then you get into the marriage and you find out that your husband did not start out that way, but that's not what you wanted. That may in fact be a reason for an annulment if you were led to believe that the person was assigned that particular sex at birth. Another reason for you to be able to get an annulment could in fact end up being a circumstance where one of the spouses does not have the mental capacity to enter into the marriage. If a court has removed their right to marry, then you can't go and marry that person and expect that marriage to hold up in front of the law. That won't quite work. There are other reasons as well. So if you believe that your marriage may qualify for an annulment, you probably should go and seek a local attorney to talk with them about what your options are, whether you actually qualify for it, whether you need to get a divorce, and what would be the advantages for your particular case as it exists in your present circumstances. This is attorney Mark of Sermons, and this has been another episode of Interesting Lawyer Stuff.